What's up, everybody? Good evening. Welcome back to the Snug Wrestling Podcast. This is Edgar. I'm the host of the show. Like always, I got the Snug Crew with me, Mr. Blood. Tommy's here. Pleasure, like always, to be here with you guys to go over Friday Night SmackDown, the pre-recorded Friday Night SmackDown. Man, this whole thing with the holiday schedules is really throwing me off because just earlier, a few minutes ago during SmackDown, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, and fucking spoilers for Monday Night Raw are popping up already. So apparently, there's going to be a shit ton of pre recorded fucking episodes, and because it's the holidays, but man, I hate when the schedules are all fucked up like this. But anyway, how y'all doing?
Doing pretty good. My wife and I, because one of her presents arrived on my doorstep, and the idiots at Amazon didn't, for some reason during Christmas time, think, you know, what we should put this in a package that you can't see through, and instead they just slapped a label on the present with clear wrapping over it that fully exposed the gift. So because she saw that, we went ahead and opened two other gifts in exchange early. So that was nice. Um, as for what's going on with the pre-recordings, I'm actually really glad I have yet to be spoiled, and I'm hoping it'll stay that way until Monday. But I guess it kind of just makes sense again, with this Austin Theory thing that we mentioned on our one-on-one last night on TikTok Live, which is available on Apple and Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. That the lackluster reaction to Austin Theory, and we might see that going forward into this upcoming Monday Night Raw as well. Which worries me because it's looking like they pre-taped not only this SmackDown on this previous Raw before, which is why the crowd was so dead, but now it's looking like they might have recorded SmackDown either tonight as well or sometime during the week during another show. And that makes me worry that the fans are going to continuously be exhausted and we're not going to get any fucking reactions that we need to know if Austin Theory is working or not, because this is all going to be a wait and see type of thing. So it makes me worried for a lot of these superstars on SmackDown and Raw in the next week or so of shows that might not be getting the fanfare they should be because the crowd is fucking drained after 5 hours of programming that they're in the stadium for. But other than that, I'm happy about it. This SmackDown was okay. It's a Christmas episode. They do Christmas hijinks bullshit. But other than that, I'm fine.
Yeah, overall, I'm getting a little bit worried about that because of the fact that not only was tonight pre-recorded, but the entirety of next week was also pre-recorded as well. Hopefully, NXT wasn't pre-recorded as well. We'll see about that simply because of the fact that NXT is directly before Christmas Eve. So I'm not sure if they did that as well. But if they did, that's that. But I'm in that same boat where I'm a little bit worried when it comes to Theory and that whole reaction because of the fact that basically for the first 2 weeks of him doing this, we won't really know anything significant on how in the world this is working for him. So it probably won't be until week 3 where we actually hear something.
Yeah, so I hate to break it to you, Tommy, but NXT is also going to be pre recorded. So the episode of SmackDown tonight, December 19th, was pre recorded. Monday Night Raw for the 22nd is also going to be pre recorded. NXT on the 23rd. And then the following SmackDown next week on the 26th. And also the following NXT December 30th. So all those shows are pre-recorded, which makes me wonder how they're doing this. And I just looked it up really quick. And this is according to Google. WWE pre-taped several episodes of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT around the 15th and the 17th, which was a couple days ago, to give talent time off for Christmas, meeting shows airing Christmas week, the 20th, the 22nd, the 23rd, the 26th, were filmed in advance, which we already said. So on Monday they did Raw and SmackDown. Today, I'm guessing they did the same thing. I'm guessing today they did a Raw and a SmackDown taping tonight, and those are going to air next week. I think that's what they're doing. Which,
all I can say,
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't like it because it leaves it open to spoilers. I mean, if you follow any WWE content at all, it's gonna reach you if you're online long enough. And on top of that, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, I get they're doing it to give the talent time off. I'm happy about that. The talent deserve the time off. But at the same time, we have a lot of people acting like, you know, certain segments on the shows this week weren't working and weren't what they thought, and they felt like they were lackluster. And I'm like, we got to look at this through a different lens here. Like now we have to, because I listened to Busted Open Radio break down the Austin Theory segment too, and they were like, it was a lackluster reaction. It was anticlimactic. It wasn't what we thought. And I'm like, but y'all failed to mention they taped SmackDown right before it. So the fans already sat there 2 whole hours. And then by the time they got to Austin Theory, it had been another 3 hours or 2.5 hours. So I'm like, how does this affect how people respond to him going forward on the live shows and in attendance? Because that's how WWE gauges what's working and what's not. They don't give a fuck what the online says. That's according to them. They care what the fans in attendance say. They like that live reaction to help them gauge what segments and what parts of the show are a success. And this makes me worry if this is going to immediately hinder Austin Theory's, steam going forward for the next couple of weeks, because the fans at home are going to be watching fans in attendance not react as much because they're drained, and then you're going to go online and the IWC's going to be like, oh, Austin Theory's not working. This was such a bad idea. It should have been this person, and that person should have been Chris Jericho, yada, yada, yada. And it's like, hold up. Let's set the record straight here, bro. These fans are getting 2 shows in one night, and you can't keep your energy for 5 fucking straight hours. Any 7-hour WrestleMania will tell you that. So I'm hoping that at the very least, Monday better be ad fucking free on Netflix if you're watching it domestically.
Yeah, so that's what happened today with and I've noticed that happen when I've been watching like NXT when it's pre-recorded. If you're watching it on Netflix, there's no ads, so the show goes from like a 2-hour show to like an hour and like 15 minutes because of like there's like 45 minutes worth of commercials. So that's good. That's one upside of watching these shows pre-recorded, is on Monday it's going to be a much quicker show because of there's not going to be any ads, I'm sure. Which kind of makes me wonder, like, I wonder if they post the program on Netflix like right as soon as they record it, because I turned my computer on like right at 5:00 and the whole entire show was already on there. So I'm like, if I would have checked 30 minutes earlier, I probably could have watched it earlier because it was already on there. I don't know, but we'll see. But yeah, other than that, yeah, I love the WWE superstars, but yeah, you guys are gonna have to call and tell your families, tell your sons, your daughters, hey, you guys need to work on the holidays so I don't get spoiled, bro. I'm sorry, but no, I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness, let's go over this SmackDown, shall we? We started off with Damian Priest and Aleister Black. That story continues. Last week, Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley defeated Aleister Black and Zelina Vega in the mixed tag team match. However, Aleister Black is not done with Damian Priest, and this time they beat the crap out of each other with tables and weapons and chairs. Damian Priest went through a table after Aleister Black attacked Damian Priest from behind in the middle of the ring, which can only mean one thing. This ongoing feud is getting hotter and hotter, and there's only one way to settle this. they're going to have some type of gimmick, no DQ stipulation match. And this is how we kick things off on this episode of Friday Night SmackDown, fellas. Thoughts on this?
Nothing positive. Because personally for me, I'm so fucking sick of these two feuding. It's been like how long now? 3.5 months more? I can't. It feels like forever. It feels like this has been going on for a long time, to the point where half the time, because it's honestly so uninteresting, I forget they're feuding until someone brings it up that they're feuding. I'm like, oh, that's right, I forgot Aleister Black works here. Like, you know, like, and it's not that he's not featured, he's featured. I'm so withdrawn from it now, because this feud could have ended like twice, that the constant goings on of it have just wear on my brain. At this point, I'm like, I've shut down my care center for this feud. And that's not a knock on the guys. It's just they've been booked together too long, and it's not interesting enough for me. It's not for a championship. It's not for a contendership spot. It's not for anything so important that they would need to feud this fucking long. It's not, you know, Drew McIntyre and CM Punk feuding over Punk costing him the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania, you know, or someone, it's not like a blood feud to that extent where everybody is so invested in it that we've got to keep milking the money out of it. It's just not. So, and I love Damian, and I think a big reason I'm sick and tired of this feud is because I want to see Damian back in the main event scene, bro. Because I'm also sick and tired of seeing Drew and Cody go at it. I really fucking am, man. So, my thoughts on this is let this shit end. Whatever this no DQ stipulation is going to inevitably wind up being, please let it be the blow-off match.
We're talking about the Cody and Drew stuff.
Yeah, welcome, Toxic. Toxic just joined us here a little late, but better late than never. Yeah, we're talking about the opening segment with Damian Priest and Aleister Black.
Oh, yeah, I 100% agree. Whatever the no DQ stipulation is, that more than likely I could see happening at Royal Rumble or the next Saturday night's main event. It needs to end. It needs to end this feud, because I feel like it should have ended last week when they had the tag match. I feel like it should have ended there. But if you weren't gonna have it ended there, make it a good blow off match, because I'm 100% tired of this feud, and really it's R-Truth's fault that this is even a thing. But just make it a good blow off match and get Damian back into the world title picture.
Yeah, I could not agree more that this has been going on too long. But here's the biggest issue that I'm having. The only other feud that I can think of him even remotely being a part of, and him being Aleister Black, is with Dragunov for the United States title. But here's the problem with that. Dragunov is currently dealing with DIY and Gargano. So I don't know what in the world they would do with Aleister next is my biggest problem. Like, at what point do you go, hey, you're done with Priest. You're good. What do we have you do now? Like, that's the biggest question for me at this point, is what would even be next for Aleister Black? But to get back to the segment at hand, what I will say is this. As soon as Priest said that his business with Aleister was over, I'm like, no, it's not. No, it's not. Who's coming out? Then Zelina comes out. I'm like, yep, that was predictable as all hell.
Wow, and you guys call me a hater.
I'm
Man,
sorry,
y'all
man.
sound like a bunch of haters.
I'm sorry. It's been an eternity. I feel like this feud's been going on since like what, August? Like July, end of July. It's been like 3.5 fucking months. Like I said, it's not for a contendership spot. It's not for someone costing someone their title. It's not over a championship. It's not over disrespect of someone's woman. It's not a blood feud to the umpteenth of CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. So why are we still doing this shit? And here's the thing: they could have ended this feud 2 times already. And the biggest thing is the moment that you know you got to break glass for Rhea in case of emergency to spice things up, you know that your feud has lost steam. You just do. So, because why else would you throw her in there? Just to get people interested again. Oh, hey, it's the hot goth muscle mommy from Raw. So that's all the guys' attention. And then all the girls who absolutely adore Rhea, that's all the girls' attention. And we did that for 1 week. And then it's like, okay, now we're back to this bullshit. And I agree with Tommy where it's like, what the fuck do you do with Aleister now? Because in my opinion, Aleister is the Rusev of SmackDown. You booked him to the same fucking feud forever. And now that Penta's out with an injury, now that he's not going after Dom for the Intercontinental Championship, Sheamus and him already did their thing. Now what the fuck do you do with Rusev? Who does he feud with in the mid-card as a babyface that would make fucking sense? You would have to force him into the main title scene, which no one wants to see. No one wants, I don't know, I can't name a lot of people who are clamoring to see Rusev go for the World Heavyweight Championship. And I can't think of a bunch of people who are like, God, let's get Aleister Black up there against Cody for the Undisputed title. Because no one cares enough about them yet. They just don't. So it's like, dude, cut the cord, repackage, or you need to fucking reshuffle the deck on your roster so we have an interesting pairing for either of those two men, or swap them brands, because I personally think Rusev fits better on SmackDown, and I think Aleister fits better on Raw because of the people involved in those divisions. I feel like they're both in the right spot on the wrong brand.
Okay, well, this is what I see, and you guys tell me what you guys think about this, all right? So, you're right, Mr. Blood. This is not for a contendership. This is not for, like, any type of championship, but what this is a personal feud. And these are the types of feuds that I personally enjoy the most. And this has been heating up for a long time, right? Going back to, they had a last man standing match. Aleister Black burned his fucking face off with the fireball. They also had some some tension leading up to the last man standing match, and they were costing each other matches, and they've been attacking each other. And then they got Zelina Vega involved, and then Rhea Ripley. So it's like, it doesn't always have to be for like something. Sometimes it's okay just to have two motherfuckers hate each other and just want to beat the fuck out of each other. And this is what it is. But I do agree that the reason that this feels like it's been forever is because it cools off a lot, because it's not on TV every week. Like, it's like every other week, or sometimes it's like not even that. Sometimes it's like every 3 weeks they'll have this program on the TV. So it's kind of like you see it again and it's like, oh yeah, these guys are still feuding. Like, and then you have to go back and like remember and think about like why they're feuding. Why are they so pissed off at each other? And it's just like, but yeah, I do agree that the booking for this feud hasn't been the greatest because it's just not consistent on TV every week. So it cools it off a lot, but this is a really intense feud, and I don't completely hate it as much as you guys do, if I'm being honest.
Thing is, I don't think any of us hated it when it started. But let's be honest, this feud, and you're right, I don't need it to be for a title or a contendership or any of that. I am fine with it being a personal hate feud. However, you can only get so much mileage out of that type of feud. And how long ago was the last man standing match? How long ago was the fireball incident? a while ago. So, like, I mean, how long ago did we add Zelina into this shit to ramp up Alistair's character? A while ago. And then they were like, well, this isn't working. We need something. Let's get Rhea. You know, like, and it's just like, dude, this feud would have served itself better when it started if it was a couple things to happen on SmackDown, build to a PLE. Okay, now we're not done. Let's ramp up. Let's go to the next PLE. Okay, now it's a tie. Then if we need to, let's do a blow off at Saturday night's main event or an event before that. But since this feud has started, there has been like 2 or 3 PLEs since this feud started and a Saturday night's main event on top of that. So it's like, because this has been going on since like August. So it's been a minute. It's just they drug it out too long. And the pacing, you're right. It's because it's not on TV every week. I guarantee you this feud could have been like a 6 to an 8 week feud. Instead, it's hitting like 12, 13, 14, 15 weeks because they are going, oh, fuck, we forgot to write for these guys. We'll put them on the next show. And then that's what they've been doing. So,
I mean, we don't know if that's really what they're doing, but yeah.
But that's what it feels like.
It feels like that, yeah.
Them. It feels like they're like, oh, fuck, we got too many feuds. We have too many fucking people on this roster. So we got to write for these guys this week and this week and this week. Oh, and then they're just like, oh, fuck, didn't we re-sign R-Truth? And they're like, oh, let's throw him in there once every fucking like 6 weeks. You know, like it's the same shit across the board with SmackDown. The writing is so fucking inconsistent that it's almost negligent to the stories at large. And it's just like, dude, you can't expect fans to care and be confused about fan engagement when you're giving them like, that's like if I said, hey, I'm going to take you, when you come down to visit me in Florida, Snug, I'm going to take you to Universal Studios because you've never been to Universal Studios Orlando, Florida. You come to my house, we stop for gas. Halfway there, we stop for McDonald's. Another bit of the way there, I get gas again. Another bit of the way there, we run into Walmart. Another bit of the way there, oh shit, hey, you need anything from the drugstore? Let's get sunscreen. And then finally we fucking get there, and it's been an extra 2 hours on only a 50-minute trip. You ain't as excited to go, are you? Now you're like, when are we going home? Because fuck, I was excited 2 hours ago.
But going back to your point, Tommy, I think the answer is pretty simple when it comes to this. I think Aleister Black has to win this feud with Damian Priest, and that'll eventually set up a match or a number one contendership, or at least put him in the title picture versus Ilya Dragunov. I think that's where this whole thing is leading to. It's to build up Aleister Black. All right. Moving on, the first official match that we got for Friday Night SmackDown was a women's tag team match for, to heat up the women's tag team division. The current champions, the Kabuki Warriors, are still women's tag team champions, right? Last time I checked. They defended versus, well, actually, this wasn't a title match. This was just a regular tag team match versus Lash Legend and Nia Jax. And Lash Legend and Nia Jax pinned and defeated the women's tag team champions. So I'm sure they're up next for a title match. But after the match, Charlotte and Alexa Bliss ran out to attack Nia and Lash Legend. And this, again, seems to be leading to some type of triple threat match because Alexa and Charlotte are the former champions. I don't think they ever got their rematch. But now Lash Legend and Nia just defeated the current women's tag team champions. So technically, both of those teams are deserving of a title shot.
I honestly see this. The match itself, fine. It's fine. I mean, I don't know what the fuck Lash Legend and Nia were wearing. It was very Christmas elf adjacent. But when it comes down to it, I see this honestly being a fatal four-way tag match because of what the Kabuki Warriors did to Rhea and Io on Raw. And I genuinely feel it's building up to a fatal four-way. And I'm wondering if they're going to put that on, well, no, they can't. Is there a tag match already made for January 5th?
Yes.
There is a tag title match. Okay.
Yes.
I can see this potentially maybe slow building to a fatal 4-way tag match at the Royal Rumble, or at the Saturday night's main event in January, which I believe is before Rumble. I want to say Rumble's the very end of the month. But I'm not tired of this stuff yet, because though we keep getting a lot of the same singles matches that we've seen since Midsummer in some form or fashion, I like seeing that all the women have something to do. I like seeing that Lash Legend is being built and kept strong with Nia. I like that we're presenting these women in a serious way, because it really like breaks my heart to say that when I look over at the women's U.S. title division, I go, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm like, why can't y'all book that like this division, where it's cross brand and everybody's invested, and there's so many teams that could cross each other. You even got Lyra and Bailey in there. So honestly, if you wanted to, this could turn into a fatal fucking 5-way of some kind. Like, there could be a crazy way they do this. It may be something never done before. Bring up a tag team from NXT, make it a fucking 6-way tag team turmoil match for the championship. But I genuinely believe that this has all got to come to a head somewhere at some point. I don't know if Kabuki Warriors are retaining on the 5th of January Raw. I'll have more of an idea of where this is going based on who retains. But I genuinely think we can all agree this is culminating in a multi-team tag title match. And I'm here for it so far. But ultimately, I think the best thing about this match is that Lash Legend got to showcase herself, which I think is important. Because out of all of these teams, Lash is the newbie on the scene, and she needs as much spotlight as she can get to shine next to all these former fucking world champions.
Real quick thing to add on to what Blood said. If you wanted to make this a massive women's tag match, throw Liv and Roxanne in there, because they're also in the picture. And then if you didn't already say this, throw Lyra and Bailey in there in that match. So it's like an 8-way match, 7-way?
It would be the most cluster-fucked match we've ever seen.
Exactly.
But if there's a will, there's a way with WWE. They'll make some never-before seen type of match. A fatal 8-way women's tag team championship match, a scramble match, fucking elimination tag team match. Like, there could be a way that they fucking do this. Leave the WWE to try to, overstuff the plot. But if you'll shove 10, 11 fucking people in a Royal Rumble ring, or during a Battle Royal have 20 people in there at the same time, I feel like you can have, 16 women. Is it 16? It's 8 teams, right? So,
something like that.
Yeah, so 16 women around the ring at one time, and have some kind of crazy ass match, or do a tag team tournament style. I don't fucking care, but I could see it.
Yeah, and going on to my thoughts about this, not a lot of thoughts, but I just think it's such a good idea pairing Lash Legend with a veteran in Nia Jax, because she can get the rub that she needs. Eventually, maybe one of them turns on each other, turning them face or heel or whatever. But yeah, turning one of them face, I want to see where this goes. And I think they're doing a good job booking Lash so far on the main roster, especially letting her win against Alexa last week. So they're doing good with Lash right now, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, they're doing great with Lash when it comes to the whole multi-team match. The only way I could really see that putting together and all of that with how many teams would be involved is make it an elimination match. That's pretty much it on that.
You could also do a gauntlet.
Oh, yeah, that's a possibility as well. But I have no real complaints about the tag match itself, except for one. What y'all don't know about me is I have ADHD. So my mind immediately goes to one massive fucking thing at a time. all of a sudden, every time Lash Legend was on my damn screen, the only thing I could look at was that big ass fucking bow that was on her damn shoulder. That's
was
all
so
I
glad
could
you-
look at every time.
I was
she was
wondering
on
where
the
you were
screen.
going. I was wondering where you were going, Tommy. I was getting nervous. When she was on my damn screen, all I could look at was that big ass.
I'm so glad you said
I
Bo.
was like, oh, thank God.
No, I was talking about that bow because that's all I could look at every time she was on my screen. Was that big old bow sitting on her shoulder? I'm like, okay, Nia
Easy there,
has
Tiger.
like no version of that whatsoever. She basically just looks like a giant damn candy cane with gold accents here and there.
Yeah,
Lash,
you
what
wanted to
in the
eat her up,
world?
Tommy?
Like, Lash, what in the world made you think of putting a fucking bow on your shoulder? But when it comes to the match itself, I really have no real complaints about it. It was a pretty decent match in itself.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job with Lash Legend. One of the things that I noticed was like throughout the whole entire match, most of the match, it was all Kairi Sane taking all the heat from Lash Legend. Lash Legend was beating the fuck out of Kairi Sane all over that ring. But I'm sure that was done by design to kind of highlight Lash Legend's fucking impressive size, her strength. You know, she looked, especially to like a much smaller Kairi Sane, Lash Legend looked really fucking good tonight. And also the fact that the Kabuki Warriors were the babyface in this team really stood out to me like a sore fucking thumb. Like just last week, they were getting booed. They were healing on Monday Night Raw. And then this week they're getting cheered. And I'm like, fuck. All right.
Well, I mean, in a heel versus heel dynamic, you have to think of who's more hated. And Asuka, though she's a heel, she is beloved by the majority of the IWC for her tenureship, her veteran status, her incredible wrestling ability. And Kairi is beloved because she's cute and little and Japanese. And she's also, regardless of how you see her wrestle on WWE TV, hardcore fans who have followed her whole career know that woman's a fucking animal and she's a fucking tank. And she also will bump and sell for you like no one's business. That girl is willing to get folded like laundry for anybody if she's got to get them over. But in comparison, people hate Nia way more because they've hated Nia way longer, you know, and Lash by proxy. So you kind of need Asuka and Kairi to be the faces or work face for the match at least, especially since like they're also over with the way that one of the big popular things right now is how Asuka says Kairi's name. So if you've noticed, every week she finds new ways to yell Kairi's name, and it's a bit now that fans have turned into a whole meme online. So because they're kind of loved and hated, having them wrestle face makes way more sense because you could fall really flat if you wrestled a full-blown heel versus heel dynamic. You really could. And it wouldn't do anything for Lash. And it needs to do something for Lash. So I think it was a smart decision.
All right, you guys, my favorite part of the show was the video package that we saw when Cody Rhodes went full-blown Street Fighter mode on Drew McIntyre in his own home. So this whole video package, it was really well put together. You know, it was serious. It made sense. Well, for the most part, it did, except for a couple things that I'm going to point out. So Nick Aldis shows up to Drew McIntyre's house with a bunch of security. Why would Nick Aldis show up to one of his employees' homes to talk about business with a crew of security guards? I don't fucking know, but he did. And the whole point of this meeting is because Drew McIntyre suspended. Drew McIntyre requested, I believe, to have this meeting in his home. So Nick Aldis showed up. He flew to Drew's house to talk about reinstating Drew McIntyre, lifting his suspension because Cody Rhodes wants it. He asked for it. And Drew McIntyre, your suspension will be lifted. You will get a title shot, but you have to apologize to the referee that you attacked. You will have to pay a fine, which is basically your payment for War Games, the money that you made at War Games. We're gonna find you that amount, and then you get a title shot with Cody Rhodes. I believe there was one more thing that Nick Aldis added. Oh yeah, you can't. No, that was the other one. That was the other way around. So
Public
those two
apology.
things: public apology and a fine, and then Drew McIntyre gets a title shot, right? Drew McIntyre says no, even though it sounded like a good deal. Drew was like, no, because that's what Cody wants. We're going to do this my way because I am a top star, because SmackDown needs me. I will get to pick the stipulation for the match, and Cody Rhodes cannot touch me. He cannot attack me. He can't put his hands on me until the match, and if he does, then Cody will get his title confiscated. Deal? Deal. Okay, the deal was made. Nick Aldis says, I have to put the paperwork together. I have to put the contract together. And then we have a deal, right? So nothing's official yet. And right there in that moment, Drew McIntyre's ring camera goes off, and Cody Rhodes is in his front door trying to fight off the security guard so he can get his hands on Cody, kind of giving us flashbacks from back when Triple H and Randy Orton did it, but not as crazy, not as violent. They have a little pull apart at Cody Rhodes' home, Drew McIntyre's home. But yeah, Cody Rhodes showed up to Drew McIntyre's house and tried to whoop his ass. And I thought this video package was just fucking lovely and entertaining. But what'd you guys think?
I thought it was stupid. So when it came down to it, I understand, like Nick Aldis showing up to an employee's house with security. I understand him doing that because Drew's a loose cannon and he doesn't want Drew to attack him on his property. So he's bringing his own protection just in case Drew goes off the rail and doesn't like the way the meeting goes in his favor. I think this is going to lead to Drew beating the shit out of Cody and then telling Cody, hit me, Cody, hit me, Cody. He's going to keep goading Cody. So Cody risks getting his own title vacated and stripped from him. So I think we're going to get that where Drew is going to torment Cody to the point where Cody almost does it. But I think that I don't know if it's going to lead to Drew beating the shit out of Cody and Cody has to take it and not defend himself. But when it comes down to it, I thought it was dumb. When Cody showed up, first off, we get a shot of outside shot and partial shots of McIntyre's house. Really nice house. And he lives on a golf course. But on top of that, I thought Cody just jumping him because he doesn't trust Nick to handle it was stupid and out of Cody's, kind of out of character for Cody in a sense. Like, why are you stalking the guy to his house to beat him up on his property knowing you'd get arrested? Like, you have two children and a wife, and you're the champion and the face of the company, but you're acting like the way the face of the company shouldn't act and putting yourself at risk, when you have a family, to get arrested. And, like it just doesn't make sense from a babyface perspective. It's not like when Triple H broke into Randy's home, and everything back in the day. Randy DDT'd his wife. He was kicking his father and brother-in-law in the freaking head like that. Yeah, I'm going to come beat your ass on your own front lawn. This was just between him and Cody. So it doesn't make sense. And then I thought it was really dumb when they were wrestling around with the fucking security guards. And for some reason, the screen kept showing the footage is doing this really cheesy interference breakup because they're taking hits. But the camera guy wasn't even getting hit. Cody tackles Drew near the fucking car 4 feet away and the camera glitches out. You didn't even touch the camera guy. And then it happened again and they didn't touch the camera guy at all. The camera guy never gets fucking hit when either of those two things happen. And then it took two police officers, I think they were cops or security, and they're holding Drew on the ground. Only two of them have yanked him down. But we have seen Drew in WWE fight off 8 guys at once who couldn't hold him to the floor, and he beat the fuck out of everybody around him and still fucking got his hands on people. but only two of the smallest cops I've ever fucking seen held down a 280 fucking pound Scotsman who's 6 foot fucking 6. But in the ring, 8 guys can go at Drew and he can bust through all of them. I just thought it was stupid. It was like, it doesn't follow regular WWE logic, their own logic. They went against their own logic. And I was like, I mean, fine, let's have the match, cool, whatever. But just so much of this was dumb. It was cheesy. It was corny. It didn't make sense.
Yeah, I'm the opposite way. I did think that, the obvious parts, like the logical parts, like why Cody showed up in the first place that part was stupid, and the camera situation was also stupid, but I just thought it was funny. I mean, just imagine this. You're sitting in your dining room, looking out the window, cup of coffee in your hand, and you see Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre fighting. I can just imagine. Anyways, but yeah, I thought that this was perfect. I thought that it's the perfect way. If you want to turn Cody heel, which I finally see them doing now, if you want to turn Cody heel, this is the way to do it. But I don't think that we make it to the match. I think Cody accidentally hits McIntyre without realizing it, and he gets the title stripped. I could see that happening. So I'm excited to see where this goes. If it goes to the match, I could see Drew winning, but I could see Cody winning also. I'll probably talk about that when we get to that point, but nowhere near that.
I have one more quick point, Tommy. I'm so sorry. I forgot to mention this. The main reason I think this is stupid is Drew is so happy at the prospect that Cody could get his title stripped. But that doesn't automatically mean Drew becomes champion. So why would you be excited that the title gets taken off of him? It doesn't automatically fall to you. It would be a vacant title. You would still have to work to get it. So him being excited and this being a stipulation to me is fucking dumb.
Well, his thought process is probably, hey, if it's not on Cody, that makes it easier for me to get it. No, the fuck it doesn't. It is on the legendary vacant. That's not how that works at all. But there are two things I will say on this. In the original video that they posted this entire thing a few days ago, that video interference wasn't fucking there at all. I watched the original video that they posted, and they put that video interference in for SmackDown because it wasn't there when they originally posted it. And when it comes to Cody attacking Drew at his home and all of that, I am going to remind you of how Cody described his tour bus.
Thank you, Tommy. That's what the point I was going to make next, but go ahead.
Because Cody described it as his home away from home, where his kids play, everything else. So this was Cody's a little bit of like a payback for Drew attacking Cody on his tour bus. That is why he came to Drew's house and attacked him there.
Yeah.
I get that. But at the same time, there's a massive difference between, hey, this bus that you basically rent and have a driver that drives it for you, that we've plastered posters on for WWE that you don't even own. You rent this fucking bus where your kids stay, versus me violating a shit ton of laws by trespassing on your property and then trying to cause a physical altercation, bodily harm on your actual property aren't exactly equal.
Oh, come on, Blood. You know these WWE superstars don't probably hardly ever see their homes. Cody Rhodes spends more time on that bus with his family than in his own home. I'm willing to bet that.
But I guarantee you, he would be in more trouble for jumping Drew on his actual real property than Drew would be for going on his bus.
I don't know, man. But the only, I mean, besides Nick Aldis showing up to Drew McIntyre with the crew full of security guards, the timing of this was pretty weird too, because like, what are the chances of, some motherfucker showing up to my house to fight me at the same time that our boss just so happens to be at my house at the same time, and then Cody Rhodes shows up, kind of make Nick Aldis look like an asshole, I thought.
That's kind of why I thought it was dumb too. I'm like, that's just too coincidental. It's too dopey. I'm sorry. Of all the hours in the day and all the days in the week, you happen to be here at the exact same time, right as I closed this deal with McIntyre. You perfectly timed getting on his property the moment that he was happy with the agreement. Are you fucking serious? I'm just like, it's so stupid. It's like, come on.
Or Nick Aldis is really an asshole.
Or Nick,
try to set Drew
unless Nick actually did set him up, how would Cody still know to run on his property and set off the alarm at the exact moment their conversation concluded?
They're in cahoots. Drew McIntyre and Nick Aldis are in cahoots.
And how would Cody know where Drew lives? They've been enemies this whole time. So, like, come on.
Yeah, Cody, who did you bribe in HR to get Drew McIntyre's office? That's what I want to know.
Called up talent relations. Yeah, I need the guy I've been blunt feuding with for 4 months on TV that we viciously.
I need his contact info.
I need his address. What are you going to do with that address? Research purposes. Like, yeah. I'm gonna commit a couple of felonies. Assault. Like
I'm just going around and asking for people's addresses. I'm just trying to send out some Christmas cards.
Yeah.
Does anyone know Drew McIntyre's address? I want to send him a Christmas card.
I was going to show up and do some caroling at his front door. Like,
yeah.
Like, it's just, to me, because I can only suspend my disbelief so far, so much of it just came across stupid to me. That's
funny because you seem to have no problem suspending your disbelief for Sol Ruka's stupid move. But anyway, let's move on. Let's go with someone who we hardly ever see on TV. Julia had a wrestling match versus Alba Fire, and Julia wants to get her women's U.S. title back from Chelsea Green. So Chelsea Green put her minion Alba Fire in the crossfire. No pun intended. If you want to get a title shot, then you have to beat my minion first, which Julia did. And this match was actually pretty good for what it was. It was a short match. Julia got the win over Alba Fire, and she's one step closer to the Women's United States Champion, Chelsea Green.
Yeah, I know I'm going to sound like such a dick this episode. I can't be brought to care. Like, honestly, like, it's a Christmas edition episode, so nothing of really any integral note ever happens on these fucking things. Like, I'm just surprised we didn't have Big Show show up dressed as Santa Claus again. I mean, it's a match with Julia, whom was called up to save fucking time. Stephanie Care was, and they looked at both of them and said, nah, this action figure. And they just threw Julia in the fucking back of catering, and they're like, oh, wait, we got a story with you, don't we? Hey, get out there. Get out there. You got a match. Oh, I'm glad I flew halfway across the country from my home. How long's the match? 2.5 minutes. Awesome. Yeah, thanks. So it's just like, this poor girl is so talented and could be such a major fucking player in the main women's title scene on SmackDown. And they've got her fucking around with Chelsea Green, whom is also amazing. But Chelsea Green is relegated to a comedy wrestler at this point and a utility player. And she is, because if you see
she's a double champion.
Yes, but that doesn't mean she's not a comedy wrestler. I mean, for fuck's sake, you want to go down that route, brother? R-Truth was the 24/7 champion for hundreds of days. So,
51 times, by the way.
51 times. So, like, when it, John Cena record-breaking record who? So when it comes down to it, it's like, in that logic, Julia was supposed to be a massive deal. They brought her up and had her aligned with Stephanie when they debuted on the main roster for like 2 weeks. And they said, nah, we don't want to do this. And then they separated them, put one on SmackDown, one on Raw. And they've had Julia be fodder or a champion that they don't book since then. And now that she's not a champion, they still got her feuding with Chelsea Green. Like, how many women are in this United States Championship division? Like, fucking 3 at this point? Like, who all is in this actual division? Like, it feels like it's just these 2. And then Jada Parker's there.
Sol Ruka's getting a shot.
Yeah, thank God. Other people, because these 2 have been back and forth with this championship since Julia took it off of Zelina Vega. At this point, I want y'all to remember, you want to know just how little has happened with this division? Zelina Vega won that fucking title the week after WrestleMania in April. And Julia and Chelsea Green have been involved with this title for the last near 8 months. Do something else. I don't give a shit anymore.
Chelsea Green's back must be hurting for carrying the AAA division, NXT, and the main roster division. Just saying.
I agree.
She's doing a lot more for that title than anyone has in a long time.
I 100% agree. They never should have taken it off of her just to give Zelina the fucking rub because Aleister came back the same fucking night. But in the 8 months that she's won that title and Aleister returned, they ain't done shit with either of them worth any fucking note.
Just a real quick correction, Blood. That it wasn't Stephanie that was paired with Julia. It was Roxanne. Roxanne was paired with Julia for a while.
Stephanie and her were. No. Oh, you're right. It was Roxanne.
Stephanie and Julia were paired before Julia turned heel.
You're right.
You would have to watch NXT to know, which I know you don't really do. Anyways, I completely lost my train of thought, but I just want to say that I think putting Chelsea and Ethan Page together as the mixed tag team champions for Triple H is such a good idea. Such an amazing idea, actually. Whoever came up with that idea, I want them to have a raise. Like, get a raise. But yeah, this division is just way too boring. They need to do something with it. I mean, this is basically what was happening with the women's tag team division. It was boring. No one gave a shit about it. People were saying that you should just retire the belts. So I think you need to put Charlotte in there or some veteran to just spice up the spice. Oh my God. I'm going through it today. Spice up the division. Holy crap. So, I mean, they already did it with the Women's Intercontinental Champions with Becky Lynch, and then they had Maxine take it off her, which a good idea as well. So you just need someone to spice up the Women's United States Championship division. And then, I don't know.
You want to know how forgettable this United States title is? I completely forgot until Blood said it that Zelina was even fucking champion. That is how forgettable this fucking title is. That I thought the entire time that it was just Chelsea Green and Julia. I completely forgot about Zelina Vega being champion. But this match, it is not very surprising that Chelsea Green decided to go, hey, Alba, go do my dirty work for me. Go up against her. But what I do love is at the very end, after Chelsea Green won the match, not Chelsea Green, after Julia won the match, you could hear Chelsea Green go, I don't care who you beat. You're never getting another shot. You're not coming after my title. You're never getting another shot. She was over and over with that. And Honestly, it is going to be so much sweeter when it's taken off of her eventually. But I do not think that Julia will be that person. Hopefully. Because that would mean these two are going back and forth once again. I also don't think it's going to be Soul, unfortunately. I love Soul. Don't think it's going to be her. But I do agree with Tox when he says that somebody big needs to hold this title, which makes me think Charlotte Flair maybe Bailey could pull this sucker in, like move over to SmackDown.
Don't put
and pull
Bailey
that
back on
sucker
SmackDown.
in.
Yeah, please don't. Like, I mean, fuck. If you wanna give someone a chance to fucking, like, give it to Tiffany Stratton. She's not world champion material anyway. Give it to Tiffany Stratton. Give it to, I mean, put Bianca Belair back in the world title, see when she gets back, and then drop Tiffany's ass back in the mid card. Until she can learn what it means to be a champion, how to carry a title confidently. I think that would make more sense, but we cannot keep having these two trade this title back and forth. Have Jada Parker turn on somebody's ass and get the title. I don't give a fuck. Just get it away from the same two people who have been involved with this for 8 straight months. Like, come on, guys. How shallow is your division? Oh, that's right. You fired all the mid-card women that could have fucking been in the division.
Damn, you guys are wilding today, man. Julia's definitely going to get a rematch. No matter what Chelsea Green tries to say, Nicholas the Prickless is going to make Chelsea Green's life a living hell and give Julia the championship match, no matter what she says. But I got to disagree 1000% with what everything you guys are saying about Chelsea Green. She's a great United States champion, I think. She's showcasing the title on NXT and giving NXT women the opportunity, like Sol Ruka. I think that match is going to take place on NXT next week, if I'm not mistaken, or at some point. So that should be cool. But yeah, when this match between Julia and Chelsea Green takes place, I think that's going to be a good match too. So I'm looking forward to that.
We're not disagreeing that Chelsea's a great champion. We all love Chelsea. We're just sick and tired of the same 2-3 people being the only ones who vie for this one championship. That's all.
All right. Up next, we got the segment at the top of the hour, I believe, with Cody Rhodes and Nick Aldis. Now, Cody Rhodes shows up and he's looking really proud of himself. He's like, yeah, I showed up to Drew McIntyre's house. Yeah, I did. I had to answer to, some police officers. Yeah, so what? And then Nick Aldis comes out and he pretty much breaks Cody Rhodes the news. Like, hey, Cody, I made this deal. I made a bad deal because of you, because you couldn't wait. You showed up to Drew's house. You put me in a tough spot, and I had to make this bad deal with Drew McIntyre. You can't put your hands on Drew McIntyre until the match. And Cody seemed really surprised by this, and I'm like, Cody, bro, do you not watch the show? They literally played the video package of you showing up to dude's house, and they said everything that is going to go down in this deal, what the stipulations are, what happens if you do this, and apparently Cody didn't get the memo, but Nick Aldis went out there to tell Cody to his face, you played yourself, Cody. Now you can't get your hands on Drew because you're not above the law and you got to wait. Cody said, fine, I'll just cut this huge babyface promo on everybody. As long as I'm the champion, I'm above the law and I don't work for you, Nick. I work for these fans. And I thought this, even though the promo was great, I love Cody so much, but I thought this segment was kind of pointless, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I agree. This is where I keep saying that this whole thing is stupid. We just had a whole video package based around this for like 4.5, 5 minutes straight worth of fucking content. And then you had them do a whole segment where they reiterated what we just fucking watched. And then Cody, as many TVs that there are backstage, homie, I love how surprised you fucking looked that he's like, yeah, this is the stipulation. And he's like, oh, Nick, how could you do this to me? You're always on my side. Like, Cody, I love you, bro, but
You're my friend.
yeah, throw a stick anywhere backstage. It'll hit a fucking monitor. So, like, how are you, like, not aware of it in kayfabe? And I'm just like, it's so dumb. It's so stupid. This was pointless, and it was a time fill. This felt like a filler fucking segment to push what we already saw and be like, hey, in case you're blind, deaf, dumb, and you weren't already watching the show that you've been watching, we're going to remind you what we just showed you 25 minutes ago. Like, you know? It's like, okay, sure. Thank you. Thank you. My intelligence thoroughly insulted. Fantastic.
No thoughts about this. I agree with Snug that this feels entirely pointless, other than just for Nick just to tell Cody what the stipulation was. But the only thought I did have that I wasn't able to get out when we were talking about the video package originally is whenever y'all were starting to talk about like Cody's tour bus, that reminded me of a clip I saw of, I don't know when it was. I'm pretty sure it was this SmackDown, but whenever it was, because this SmackDown was pre-taped, but I don't know. But Cody was in the ring and Solo's music hit, and he's like, Cody, no one wants to hear you talk. Can you move your big ass butt so I can go home and see my family? I just thought that was funny and just had to point that out. I don't know why, but I mean, that's how pointless this segment was. I mean, just I'm thinking about random shit now.
This entire segment was filler, and it comes down to a single one-liner. And that's about it. The whole thing was literally just Nick Aldis saying, hey, don't touch him or else I'm forced to strip you. And what is that one-liner? I am the law. That's it. This one segment could have been a fucking email. Plain and simple. No. That's really about it. That's really my only thoughts on it. Is that this sucker could have been an email. That's how pointless this thing was.
Well, Cody Rhodes can't hit his whoa in an email, so yeah, he had to go out there. All right. We had a really interesting tag team match after this. Carmelo Hayes teamed up with Ilya Dragunov versus the DIY. Carmelo Hayes has been getting over, and he's super babyface now, and the people love him. The people are popping for him. Carmelo Hayes got the hot tag in this tag team match. The place, he got a nice little pop. I'm not going to say the place exploded because for the most part, they were pretty dead. But Carmelo Hayes got the hot tag. He fired up. He did the comeback. And not only that, Carmelo Hayes got the pin in this match for his team. Ilya Dragunov, Carmelo Hayes look really good. I'm really glad. I'm really happy to see that they're putting some attention on Melo because he's really good. It's been a long time coming. I mean, they had a lot of high hopes for him when he first came in. First round draft pick, and it looks like it's finally paying off now.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. First round draft pick, and people keep forgetting that on his debut of the draft evening, he had a main event fucking match against Cody Rhodes when Cody was in his first win and run in the very beginning of it as the WWE Undisputed Champion. Let that sink in that is how his main roster run started. And then what would then continue into, I believe, a best of 7 series with Andrade, which was great, where they were getting consistent reactions every week. Fans were into it. And then all of a sudden, fucking a whole lot of losing. It's been a year and a half since this man has actually had a worthwhile push and any decent fanfare from the writers' room. It took too fucking long, guys. You can't be surprised that fans are screaming about building new stars and booking the younger guys and pushing younger talent, when you do shit like this with Carmelo's career and a year and 8 months removed from his original call-up, you finally are giving him the babyface push, the fanfare, and the wins that he deserved. Because now you're ready. Because God forbid someone be organic with the crowd and get over on their own. You got to make everybody believe it was your idea. Watching WWE Unreal Season 2 that comes out, they're going to be like, hey, we're going to strap the rock on your back, kid. Just be patient with us. Like, you know, like, aside from the bullshit booking of Carmelo's last year and 8 months of his career that he definitely deserves so much better for, because, man, he was on fire coming out of NXT, and they just fucking turned the hose on him. And I don't mean that because he's black, but I think he's Spanish, but he might be black. Anyway, point is, so that reference for hosing him didn't sit right. I am half black for those listening and who can't see the melanin in my skin. But when it comes down to it, I'm calling this man.
I'm sorry. Go on.
Fucking corpsing over here.
Oh my God.
I'm half black. It's okay. I can say he was hosed. But when it comes down to it, I would say this is easily match of the night. This tag match was absolutely match of the night. I continue to be always just enthralled with Ilya. And I love that him and Carmelo tag together because holy shit, these guys work great together. This was an awesome match. Great ending. Crowd was into it. Nothing but net looked fantastic. 1, 2, 3, Carmelo gets the pin as he should. Because why does Ilya need it? He's already a champion. Let Carmelo get the pin. I thought it was great. And it was good booking. I think it was the best bit of business the entire night.
Before I get into my actual point, I just want to point out that thanks to Joe Desator, I finally figured this out, that all 4 of these men in the match, so Carmelo Hayes, Ilya Dragunov, and both members of DIY, are all former NXT champions. And that's crazy just to see where they are now, even though that, I mean, Carmelo's had shit so far on the main roster. But I like how Melo's main roster run has gone so far. I mean, he faced Cody his first night here. He faced Cody his first night on SmackDown, and then he had the best of 7 with Andrade, triple threat with Andrade and LA Knight. He had I don't know where he went. And then he had a few matches with Sammy, a few matches with Jimmy, which those did something for him. And then I don't exactly know where we went after that. And then they gave him the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, whatever it is. So I think that they need to finally give him that push and let him take it off of Ilya. I mean, hot take, I think that they need to have Carmelo Hayes beat Ilya Dragunov for the United States Championship.
I like that. I like that a lot.
You know, there is one thing that I've been thinking this entire time as you guys were talking, especially when it comes to Carmelo Hayes' career as of current stuff with WWE, at least in this run. His career aligns pretty well with one other, LA Knight, where they were pushing him like all hell, and then all of a sudden, drop. That's pretty much how both of these men's careers has gone, where they're pushing at them like crazy, and then all of a sudden put them both into a fucking ditch. Like even Knight was in the world title scene for a bit before they shoved him right back down in the mid card. So there is that. But when it comes to the match itself, I completely agree. 100%. This shit was match of the night. And I love the fact that Carmelo Hayes got the pin right after a Torpedo Moscow as well. So took that sucker out real quick.
All right, y'all. The main event was another tag team match. A lot of fucking tag team matches tonight. I think the only singles match was Julia versus Alba Fire. The other three were all tag team matches, if I'm not mistaken. But it was for the WWE Tag Team Champions, the Wyatt Six versus the MFTs. And it was Dexter Loomis and good old, what the fuck is his name? Someone remind me of the other guy's name.
Joe Gacy?
Joe Gacy, thank you, Blood, versus JC Mateo and Tongaloa, surprisingly. I'm like, wow, talk about, I mean, this is for the tag team titles. I thought you would get your best wrestlers in there, but hey. And yeah, they the match was actually pretty good. I got to be honest. It was intense. The pacing was good. Tongaloa didn't fuck anything up. He didn't botch as far as I can remember. But the match ended in a no contest or some type of DQ because both factions were ringside, and it was only a matter of time before all hell broke loose. And even the pull apart that they had was pretty enjoyable, except for Talatanga trying to go for a cross body. Don't ever do that again, Talatanga. You're 7 feet fucking tall. You cannot do a cross body to save your life. I'm sorry. That was terrible. But other than that, man, there was a lot of intensity in this main event, even during the match and the aftermath of the match too. I thought the main event was pretty great as far it's except for the part that we didn't get a definitive winner. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good.
It was all right. I'd say it's one of JC Mateo's better showings. Not like they give this man fucking almost anything to actually do on this fucking program. I mean, it's night and day, man. You watch JC Mateo on Friday Night SmackDown, and then you go watch him as Jeff Cobb everywhere else. And it's like looking at a completely different human being wrestle. Tongaloa, I mean, this match gets 5 stars from me because he didn't botch anything and he didn't break anything on his body. It gets 5 stars because there was no banana peel to not slip on in the ring. You know, like Joe Gacy, Dexter Loomis, great job. You know, they're very dependable, very competent wrestlers. The no contest finish, kind of a stupid way to send the people home for Christmas, the SmackDown Christmas episode. But, you know, is what it is. Again, you know, I'm pardon me, man, but I am regurgitating this throughout this episode, and I apologize to the fans listening, but it again, a feud that just won't fucking end. This feud has gone on for a while. It's been interesting at points, but I've worn out my buzz on the Wyatt Six a long time ago. And I have been saying this forever, that the bloodline and any adjacent remnant of that should have ended at War Games last year. I don't even think they should have had the blow-off match between Solo and Roman on the 5th of January this year. I think it should have just ended at War Games last year. Done, over, everybody disbands. Every time I see Solo with this new crew, it's like beating a dead horse. They're more serious, thank God, that's great. But, homie, damage has been done for Check's Notes about 1.5 years now. I can't, no matter how hard I try, I can't unsee Shuck and Jive Solo. I can't see uncoordinated botch-a-mania fucking Tongaloa. I can't unsee slightly more coordinated Great Khali and Talatanga. And I can't see fucking watered down Jeff Cobb as JC Mateo not getting to wrestle the real way he actually fucking wrestles and be impressed. And the only person out of the whole group I'm genuinely like, that guy can fucking go, is Tamatanga. So, and it's like, come on, it's hard to care at this point. The stop-start stuff with the Wyatt Six, some due to injury, some due to just not having anything creatively for them. And the bullshit they've had this version of the Bloodline go through for a year and a half has just made me go, I don't have any fanfare for either team anymore. I just don't. I really don't.
Yeah, I have major issues with obviously the MFTs, and it's sad to say it, but the Wyatts too. I mean, I'll start with the Wyatts. I mean, they were amazing around Money in the Bank. What was it, last year? Like whenever they first got introduced? Amazing, amazing idea.
It's been almost 2 years ago now.
Really? I thought it was around Money in the Bank last year.
When they debuted, man. That's what I'm saying.
Almost,
Stop and start, bro. The QR code shit was 2023.
Holy. Anyways, but like I'm talking about when they first got introduced, like when we first saw them on TV, like in there, in person. They were amazing. I was interested. I mean, hell, I didn't even have a way to watch Raw back then, and I just had to go back and see like what happened because it was so interesting. But now it's just a stale nostalgia act. I mean, just I'm tired of it. I mean, they need something like they need to have someone like they could do like an entire storyline. Some like the entire thing is just a curse from Uncle Howdy and someone break free of it. I mean, like they could do Rowan breaking free of the curse of Uncle Howdy or something like that. Just we need something. We need someone to split away from all of it or just I don't know. And then obviously the MFTs. Holy crap, that is just watered down bloodline. You have I'm not even gonna get into it. But the only one person in there that is actually doing something is Tama Tonga, and Tama Tonga is doing something by doing nothing. I mean, I see him going into the United States title picture because he was in the background of the Ilya and Carmelo segment in the back, so I could see him going there. But my main issue with MFTs is Solo. Why can't we just get NXT Solo back? I mean, that Solo was just badass. I would just love.
I'd like to correct myself. They debuted June 17th last year, but it feels like it's been the year before. It feels like
it does, but I just imagine
who debuted it last year?
The Wyatts.
Oh yeah, I made a shirt about it. We have a Wyatt Six with that date. Go check it out.
Plug. Anyways, I just feel like NXT Solo on the main roster would do wonders for Solo. Like I said to myself whenever Solo was going against Gunther, it's sad to say it. I mean, this is what I said. It's sad to say it, but I see Solo being world champion one day. I actually believe that Solo has the potential if they just bring back that badass side of Solo.
Yeah, the Solo that we saw against Gunther, we said it during that review of that show. The Solo we saw against Gunther was the Solo that Roman Reigns was afraid of at the height of the bloodline. That's the Solo they should have kept. The Solo that fucking essentially just jobbed John Cena out on a PLE. Like, I mean, come on. We said this before. This Solo Sikoa beat John Cena clean, but somehow couldn't buy a fucking win as the U.S. champion.
Yeah, that shit makes no sense. We need NXT Solo back. Plain and simple. But I have problems with the Wyatt Six and how they're being used. Here's the biggest problem. You've got Howdy doing his thing with Solo. Okay, great. You've got the whole tag team title run. All right, awesome. Eric Rowan and Nikki Cross. What the fuck are you doing with those two? Especially with Nikki. Literally, all she's there for is to be thrown around by Eric Rowan. That's it. That kind of feels like all she's there for is to be a human fucking cannonball. And that's about it. But the match itself, okay, great. It was a tag match. Interference, of course. That's the MFT standout all the damn time. But here's my problem. How this show ended? What in the world? A random out of nowhere wide shot of a brawl and nothing else. That in itself, to me, just felt really weird on how it ended. Because even Soto was like, wait, that's how this ends? This is how this episode of SmackDown is going to end. Just a random wide shot right now. That was really my only problem.
By the way, just to harken on something you said, Nikki Cross, another woman that could be in the women's U.S. title division, but is only there to get tossed into somebody once a week.
Well, on that note, that was Friday Night SmackDown from December 19th, but it was recorded a few days before that. And with the holiday schedule, not just the WWE is, changing up their schedule, but so are we for the holidays. Next week, we will be doing Monday Night Raw stuff. But because of the holidays, you guys, I don't think we're going to be recording much next week, right?
We will not be doing the Thursday night one-on-one on TikTok Live, and we will not be doing, unless y'all want to, Friday Night SmackDown. But that's the day after Christmas. Christmas
we also will not be doing NXT either.
Well,
because that's Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve, yeah. Us Mexicans celebrate on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, so I will be partying it up. Also, on Friday Night SmackDown, since we're not going to be putting out much content for the holiday weekend, I'm going to try to make up for it with some other content, some special edition content, because it's my niece's birthday. She's turning, I think, like 16 or 17. So she's having a birthday party, and she requested a Snug theme party. So everyone who is invited to the party must wear some type of Snug merch. This was by her request. So I'm going to be posting a whole bunch of stuff on our social from the party of everyone wearing their own Snug merchandise and stuff like that, to kind of make up for the lack of content this week. So that should be really fun. No Friday Night SmackDown.
We should all text you a specialized birthday message to your niece wearing our Snug merch, and you can show her like a birthday message from all of us from the Snug Crew. That'd be cool.
Yeah, she would love that, I'm sure. Yeah, she's always been a huge supporter of us, since I can remember. I think like the very first shirt that I made, I gave it to her, and she was really happy about that. So yeah, if you guys could do that, that'd be great. But yeah, other than that, let's get up out of here.
Well, guys, thanks for kicking it with us. As always, that's going to wrap up this episode of Snug Wrestling. That was the Friday SmackDown December 19th edition show review. If you love our live content, join us every Monday and Friday after Raw and SmackDown go off the air respectively for live post-show reviews. And for bonus content, we do reactionary content during the actual shows, segment to segment to segment, for you to enjoy our actual reactions or Snug's actual reactions during the actual broadcast. Then you can kick it with us every Thursday night outside of holiday seasons, that is, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific on TikTok Live, where myself, Mr. Blood, and that handsome Mexican over there, Edgar, do our one-on-ones where we answer random wrestling topics or specific wrestling topics for up to an hour and answer your fan questions live. Then support the Snug Wrestling Podcast. As we have just discussed, we have merch. In fact, we've got nearly 100 fucking designs for you guys to choose from on our TeePublic Snug Wrestling fucking website. 100 motherfucking designs. And there are so many, from CM Punk merch to John Cena stuff to adjacent Uso stuff. Tons of shit for you to get involved. And it's not just shirts. It's on bags, wall art, that tapestry directly behind Edgar's head. It's on hats. It's on fucking phone cases. It's on stickers and magnets, which we sell a shit ton of, by the way. Didn't know that many people like stickers, but they love fucking stickers. And if that's your thing, get some stickers. But other than that, guys, thank you for joining us. Those links for our merch are in all of our actual social media description links, including the ones in this episode you're watching it on right now. So until next time, stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. And for those who aren't joining us for Monday night, happy or merry fucking Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, or whatever else you celebrate in this Yule time of year. So that was one time for the one-time boys. I said that was
4 letters.
4 letters.
1 word.
1 word.
Oh.
Merry Christmas.